Welcome to my literature review presentation. There are numerous research studies which explore evidence-based learning. However, there are fewer studies outlining the way in which leadership is enacted in order for successful outcomes to be obtained in the educational setting. This review of literature examines the complexities and challenges faced by leaders in pursuit of creating sustained growth in pedagogical and organisational improvements in leading evidence-based learning. Throughout the review, there will be three key themes: data-based decision-making, building an evidence-based culture for improvement, and evidence-based learning on student achievement. The review will have the following structure: exploring each theme and the impact it has on active leadership, and secondly, a review of the challenges faced and leadership response to creating solutions. The first theme is data-based decision-making. Data needs to be utilised in order to inform teaching practice and remain in line with schools' vision. Training and support in gathering data is an important aspect in data-based decision-making. The leader's role is to ensure the right data is being collected to support teachers and ensure that data is purposeful and triangulated in order to be effective. The use of data teams through PLC provides leaders opportunities to guide robust discussion in a safe environment to improve learning outcomes. Conversely, when data teams are supplied with the wrong data or do not demonstrate collective efficacy, then the data will not have the desired effect. Daniel and Park add that leaders should be wary of allowing data to tell the story, rather suggesting leaders should consider the context supporting the data first. To make the data decisions effective, it is essential that there is a high degree of trust and accountability amongst both leaders and teachers. The second theme is building an evidence-based culture for improvement. Evidence-based leading and learning has continued to become a critical element in many sectors, none more so than the educational setting. It is important that school leaders carefully consider their approach to create a data-informed culture, with a number of researchers suggesting an instructional approach is the most effective in creating a culture change. School leaders must consider the big picture and set the vision, values, and practices pertaining to building a culture rich in data-informed decision-making. A key element in creating a data culture is that leaders support staff and engage in practices which develop long-term sustainability and promotes buy-in. When a culture embraces EVL, leaders can openly challenge one another and be challenged through the use of data and seeks to improve student outcomes. However, if a data culture is yet to be established and staff feel threatened by the data, challenging conversations can lead to disengagement and a breakdown in trust. The third theme is evidence-based learning on student achievement. Utilising data is an effective strategy to inform teaching and improve learning outcomes for students. The more visible and transparent learning becomes, the greater the outcomes will be when learning conversations take place between leader and teacher, as well as teacher to student. When leaders create an environment whereby teachers are encouraged to release their power and encourage student voice and ownership of their learning, greater capacity is created. Timberley provides a model of learning which supports the notion that learning is a cyclical process rather than linear. Ultimately, this encourages the learner to engage in a process of self-reflection and knowledge building. When leaders create an environment which develops school-wide ownership of the curriculum, leaders and teachers can engage in rich learning which targets the needs of all students. Lee, Cheng and Co. also recognise that if there is a limited understanding of the curriculum by leaders and teachers, the data will be less effective. From literature review, a number of challenges have emerged, the first being if leaders and teachers are too concerned with the data to lose sight of the individual students. A proposed solution would be for leaders to focus on making the learning visible and placing the students first. Also, building relational trust between all stakeholders allows for accountability and to gain the best evidence of student learning. Another challenge is there is often a conflict within leaders and educators to ensure personal bias does not influence the decision-making process. To support this, leaders must have a clear vision for the data and evidence prior to undertaking the process in order for consistency, reliability, and transparency. Also, to avoid bias among staff, it is important that moderation is not left to the individual, rather supported by the data team. The last challenge is that it is difficult for leaders and teachers to know the difference between good data and bad data without having formalised training in data analysis. To support this, leaders need to ensure staff are given opportunities to participate in professional learning relating to interpreting data. Also, to create a culture which supports the learning of the collaborative learning and discussion through professional learning communities.